Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Always, and welcome back to The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. In the last episode, I do believe we were trying to do the speed challenge, which means I don't have time to think. So today, we're just gonna do a hard mode run of, let's see, Cain only needs one more thing, Judas only needs one more thing. We might do that. Let's see, Boss Rush, Hush, and a lot of these characters currently only need, like, things I don't want to do. We really should play more Keeper and Lilith and mostly those two. But I think what I want to do today is let's do a Judas run. Let's try to get Delerium. That is the last thing we need. And yeah, so that's an empty room. Let's get on with this. Oh man, so yeah, Binding of Isaac. The series that I say this every time, I know that I never have much to talk about, but today is actually a little bit different. Strangely enough, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, we just need to get some items. We need to get something going. Oh my gosh, get away from me. We don't have to go fast or anything. We just have to stay alive. What do we have? It's not a very... It's E. coli? Yeah, Turdy Touch. That's not the best of items, I'll be honest, but whatever. Anyways... I wish we had some bombs. Let's get rid of this fire. So yeah, I actually have something that I can talk about today. And it's strange. It's actually a YouTube thing that I have been kind of addicted to for the last, like, well, night and a half. But occasionally the YouTube algorithm is very successful in suggesting good things for me to watch. And last night it suggested a travel vlog. Which is kind of strange because I don't really watch travel vlogs or anything like that. But this one I'm kind of making an exception for because, well, it's a travel vlog of some guy that went to Japan and explored around there. And I have to say, that is something I have always wanted to do. Japan has always been kind of interesting to me, both just kind of the culture itself and, like, also the architecture and just how Japan has somehow melded both kind of the more modern stuff with the highly traditional buildings and whatnot. And history seems to be very important to a lot of their maybe not people, but definitely their, like, city planning type stuff. But it's just one of those things. I've always wanted to go to Japan and explore just the entire country. And I know a lot of people talk about that kind of stuff, you know, wanting to travel specifically to Japan for, you know, whatever. But there's, like, very specific things that I want to experience. And it's not the normal, like, anime weebish type of things. Although some of that would be cool too, but, like, you know, everybody wants to go to Tokyo for whatever reason, for, like, the anime and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I'm a fan of anime. I play obviously a lot of video games and that kind of stuff, but, like, the weird thing for me is I've always wanted to go to Tokyo for the arcades, and not really just to see this arcade, the like lights and sounds and all that kind of stuff. You know, I want to go to an authentic ramen shop that's, like, you know, the best ramen you can get is, I mean, it's authentic. It's, you know, one that's by a train station or something like that. And watching these videos of this vlog, it's really making me want to someday go there and travel to Japan. And I'm not the type of person that, like, I've traveled a lot in the United States, but I've never actually been out of the country. I don't even have a passport for that matter. And it's kind of strange, but, like, I've been to a lot of the U.S. and seen a lot of what this country has. But Japan is, well, it's not only just a foreign country, but it's also such a different culture of kind of styles and what's popular there. You know, I don't really have the ability to walk down a street and go to, ooh, money equals power. You know, go up to a vending machine and get a hot drink. You know, that's not something that I can necessarily do in the U.S. At least not in the area I'm from. So it's just a complete strangeness of just what you can experience and all that kind of stuff. And it's something that's always interested me to the point where I've actually let's go in here, see what's in the shop. I've actually let's get this. I'm losing my train of thought so much. I've actually taken Japanese and learned some Japanese. I say some fairly loosely. I took a year of it in college, and it's mostly gone at this point. But some of it I still remember. But it's just one of those things. I'd love to go to an actual festival in Japan and see just kind of what it's all about. And I wouldn't want to just go to the main island. I wouldn't just want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to as much as possible. I'd love to go up into the mountains. And the vlog that I've been watching, the guy is actually there in November. So and he goes to Hokkaido and all over the place. And so it's kind of neat to see just the change in seasons almost. And it's just something that I'd love to do. It would cost so much money to do it right, but it would be so worth it. So it's kind of cool. I love that kind of stuff. And sometimes, you know, you get inspired to want to do different things. Both just, you know, watching the videos. I want to go to Japan, of course, but it's also making me want to relearn Japanese and actually learn it properly. Like, I say properly. I did take college classes of Japanese, but learn it more thoroughly and have a working use of the language. You know, I, like many people in the U.S. Who, you know, went through high school, I do know foreign language somewhat. I did take 4 years of Spanish in high school, but that was a long time ago. And it's still kind of there. Definitely I can pick up a little bit, and Spanish is a little bit easier, and it's weird. I think I've said this before on this channel, but for whatever reason, I completely confuse Japanese words and Spanish words all the time. The languages are not even remotely close, but it's odd that they sound similar in a weird sense. And it's just one of those things of, like, you don't think that you would confuse them, but I do, and it's really weird. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, the halo, that is a good item. It's just kind of weird that, you know, I want to relearn Japanese and actually, you know, learn the language a little bit better, especially the written language. I was noticing from the videos, though, that there's a ton of stuff in English in Japan, which doesn't surprise me. There's also a ton of Russian, depending on where you're at in the country, which also doesn't surprise me. And it's just kind of one of those things of, like, I want to be able to learn enough to actually, you know, survive and be able to travel without, like, a heavily translator, you know, reliant or anything like that. I'd want to be able to talk to people and, you know, hey, can you give me directions to this place because I'm lost? You know, that type of stuff is kind of important if you're going to travel. I feel is, you know, knowing how to communicate is usually pretty helpful. Oh my gosh. These guys need to... Oh my gosh. Okay, let's restart that. That was a little unexpected. I just could not escape from those guys. But yeah, it's just kind of, you know, whether you want to travel to... I mean, even if it is a country that you can speak the language of, you know, it's always good to be able to kind of... I don't know. I've never been one that's wanted to see too much of the world. And that sounds bad. But it's just, you know... there's a little bit of a difference. You know, growing up as a kid, we'd go on vacations, and our vacations were always, we're going to drive to this destination, and we have AAA books, which, if you don't know what AAA is, it's basically, how to explain this, it's both a travel agency, and also they do have some, like, roadside stuff. We don't have the item. Nope. They also have some, like, roadside stuff, so, like, if you have a flat tire or something, and you're a AAA member, you can get help, basically. And we had, my parents had a membership, right? And one of the cool things you could do is they publish, basically travel guides for the U.S. All the states are included, and these books have, like, hotels, restaurants, all that kind of stuff, and places of interest and whatnot. So it's kind of useful for just general traveling. And one of the big things with that is, like, we would decide, okay, this year we're gonna go to this state. We're gonna drive here, and we're gonna pick up travel books, because they were actually free, which was also really nice. I never know what this item does. They were free, so we would pick up a book for basically all of the states we would encounter on the way. And it was kind of cool because, like, we would be riding along, and my mom would basically be flipping through the travel guide, the travel book, and just kind of, you know, oh, hey, this sounds cool, or we see a road sign for something, and oh, this is neat. Let's stop here in this town and see what's here, you know. We would see towns that we thought was, like, based on, you know, based on the name of the town, it probably has this company's factory or something in it, and turns out it doesn't. It has a different one. Specifically, like, in Pennsylvania, there's a place called Easton, and Easton sunglasses are a popular brand of sunglasses. And so we thought, kind of, that, you know, oh, hey, Easton would probably have the factory, maybe it's named after it, you know? And we looked into it, and turns out that's where the Crayola crayon factory is. And so we actually stopped there, and it was kind of neat, you know, getting to, it's almost adventure-y, getting to just kind of go off and not really have any expectations of what you're going to see, what you're going to get into, and just do it, you know? And that's kind of, you know, it's a little bit riskier in foreign countries because you're a lot farther away from home, you know. Ooh, extra vision. Cool. That lets us get all the secret rooms very easily. But yeah, so, like, that's one of those things of, like, when you're in the same country, you know, worst case scenario, you have to stay an extra night somewhere or something, but you could probably get back. But you get too lost in a foreign country, you might not be able to get back home very easily, and that's a little bit terrifying. You know, that's why most people have, like, itineraries. But kind of for me, it's less of you know, having a general plan is nice, but it's almost like you don't have enough time sometimes to actually explore places thoroughly enough. And it's just you know, travel. That's the way it is. You have to get back home to your normal life, and you know, as nice as it would be to just travel constantly, it's not feasible. For most of the time, it's not feasible. And sometimes it's just nice to go home. It's nice to be kind of where you feel comfortable and where all your stuff is and whatnot. But, like, I've never really had the desire to travel to too many places. Like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to go to, like, the UK or different parts of, you know, go to Italy or France or something like that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be distraught not experiencing a lot of those places. But Japan is one that I've always I've wanted to to spend a lot of time just kind of exploring the entirety of the country as much as I possibly could. And it's mostly just because it's a fascinating culture to me. Like, you know, there you can go from some very different each island is so different, and even going to different cities, they have different almost subcultures, and it's so cool. And you know, there's a little bit of, you know, outsider looking in, a little bit of bias there, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it'd be so much fun. You know, there's other places that would be fun to go see, but I've never been super interested in most of them. So, yeah, is what it is. Anyways, like I said, I've seen a lot of the U.S., and U.S. is another place that it's almost, it doesn't really, it doesn't really have one, like, how do I want to say this? It's in itself is so different, just going from place to place. You know, there's a little bit of overlap with, like, because I've been both on the East Coast and the West Coast. I live closer to the East Coast. I'm trying deliberately not to, like, say anything too specific, but, like, you know, I've been on the West Coast, and the way everything is so different. One of the big things, and this is something that I always find funny, but I've been to the East Coast quite a bit more than the West Coast, just because, well, it's closer. But it's kind of funny that one of the big differences between the East Coast and the West Coast is during the summer, most people in the East Coast, they're probably not in the water on the beach, and most of the people on the West Coast probably are, because the Atlantic Ocean is very, very, very cold. And depending on when you're there, it's kind of miserable to actually go into the water. But no, it's just kind of different styles of life and culture and all that kind of fun stuff. It's kind of interesting, you know, to go from you know, small towns in New England to big cities like LA and New York. And it's just, you know, sometimes that's the difference is more of, you know, big towns versus small towns, but it's also a little bit of just kind of East Coast versus West Coast. It's much different. One of the biggest things is, you know, I've lived in a lot of places with traffic, and well, okay, I should rephrase that. I've been to a lot of places with traffic. I've lived in like one or two, but oh my god, tiny little chest. Ooh, I'll take that. That gives us flight. So we have X-ray vision and flight. Cool. We should use this. What makes you smaller? That's cool by me. But yeah, it's just like, you know, there's a fairly large difference between kind of the attitudes you get to, which, you know, not necessarily like negative or positive attitudes, just kind of almost priorities. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of like how far something is really important. You know, how far something is dependent on like whether there's traffic, or maybe it's just distance, or, you know, some things, you know, you wouldn't necessarily want to just, you know, walk down the street at night, but other places I've felt completely comfortable walking in the dead of night down the street. And it's just, you know, different areas have different, I don't know, different feelings. But I'm kind of rambling at this point. I don't really know what I'm saying. Let's grab these. And then we need to figure out where we need to go still. What do we have this way? I think if we go back to the beginning room, we'll get close to where we need to go. Yeah, we need to go to the left. We do have a lot of life, which is nice. But yeah, you know, I think of a lot of European countries and like what I want to see in a lot of those, and I will say like I'd love to see a lot of the old style architecture. You know, Greece would be a really cool place to go, just because of all of the old buildings, all of the old architecture, but also seeing like Italy for that same reason. But I've never, I don't know, I guess I've never really been too interested in a lot of European history and whatnot. I would love to see the like castles of the UK, going up and seeing just the rolling hills and whatnot in like Scotland. I've heard Iceland is really cool, but it's just, I don't know. I've seen a lot of things in the U.S. and yeah, they're gonna be much different than what's in the U.K. or Europe or wherever. But it's just, I don't know. There's so much stuff to see closer to home. Because like I've technically seen Canada across the river. Because I've been into Detroit and seen the Canadian border. I've seen the Niagara Falls and that kind of stuff. But it's just, you know, there's enough in the U.S. to see, and I've been to well over half the country, and I've never seen most of it. But like one of the big places that I'd still love to go, a little bit less realistic at times, but I'd love to go see Alaska. I've never ever been able to, and I love winter, so like it's very much a place to go, a place that I'd want to go, and a lot of it would be fairly, well, kind of not much to see. It's just kind of, let me rephrase that. There's a little bit of a sameness because it is going to be a lot of just mountains and snow and whatnot, at least during, you know, colder months. But the towns and whatnot aren't too notable. There's nothing too particular to see. Whereas, like, you can go to, I'm thinking off the top of my head, someplace like Nashville, there's a lot of music-related things that are sights to see in the actual town. And, you know, there's, obviously New York, there's plenty to see. I don't think I want to go in there. At least in terms of, like, locations in a city. But Alaska is much more the nature type of stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy. It is really cool to see all that kind of stuff, but it is a little bit less, I don't know, it almost feels like there's less to see, because there's a lot of, it's going to look a little bit the same after a while. There's not going to be too much variety. There we go. That's a good way to say it. I think, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything. Like, if you're from these areas, don't get me wrong. I've been to places and actually been to Utah once, in the mountains in the middle of January, and it was kind of cool because, like, I don't know, I had such a respect for the mountains. Where I'm from, there's not much mountainous. There is a little bit, but not to the extent. Like I said, I'm more from East Coast, so it's a little bit more of, like, you know, Appalachia than the Rockies. And if you don't know the difference between those, there is a pretty significant difference. Appalachian mountains are a little bit more rolling hills, versus the Rockies are much more sharp, and it does make a difference to an extent, but, like, it kind of amazed me. Like, I saw these mountains and they were just so pretty, and I kind of wondered, you know, if you lived there, would you kind of respect it as much? You know, it would almost become, you know, the norm. It would lose a lot of its kind of shock value to an extent, but at the same time, like, maybe not. I don't know. There's some places that it's kind of hard to say that you'd ever lose that kind of wonder for a place just because of how absolutely beautiful it is. But I don't know. Where I'm from and where I live is a little bit more, well, for lack of a better term, plain. But at least to me. Anyways, let's take on the bell. Oh, I hate the stain. Just try to do as much damage. We do have quad shot. We're doing quite well with what we have. And toothpicks. Alright, tears and shot speed. That's good. We have a whole bunch of things. Now, that could really ruin me. And it did, but it didn't. I guess it didn't really matter because we have a lot of soul hearts. So we have 9 lives now. That's nice. The real question is, when we get to Mom and the foot, are we gonna want to shoot the whoop. Ooh, health up. Are we gonna want to get the Polaroid or the negative? And I think we're probably gonna want the negative. Emperor, that's gonna be nice. Actually, that's gonna be really nice if we want to get the negative, because the negative will guarantee the Delerium, but it is gonna be a little bit more difficult. So I think that's what we'll do. Otherwise, we could try to take on Hush, and I don't want to do that. Alright, so let's just finish this up. But yeah, that's pretty much the thing I wanted to talk about today. I got watching somebody's travels to Japan, and it really does inspire me. I want to travel there someday. That is one of my like lifetime goals. But you know, like I said, there's other places to travel, and you know, I've had the opportunity to go to some of them. I just never have. And honestly, like I said, I don't know that I necessarily want to, just because of what I find interesting. But the bigger point I want to make of all this is just kind of, you know, sometimes it takes odd things to inspire you, like random YouTube videos that pop up in your suggestions. And, you know, it's okay to, you know, take those inspirations and do something with them, you know. If you know, you get inspired to basically make yourself better, in a sense. You know, learn a language, you know, learn a skill, improve your health, whatever it may be, doesn't really matter. It's always good to do that. And it's always good to kind of take that inspiration and run with it. Because why not? Life's too short to not do, to regret things you didn't, you know, skills you didn't learn, or whatever. Great, this is gonna be a wonderful room. Alright, because we gotta kill these guys. One thing that's kind of funny about Japan, for me, is that one of the biggest... So, Japan is... like I said, they have a lot of, like, vending machines, and the other thing that's really popular there is convenience stores, which makes sense. It's a little bit more... Japan is, oddly enough, a fast-paced and slow-paced place. Slow-paced place. Wow. I can speak. Okay, this is actually really good. We can melt that trinket, and we can get a new one. And I guess we're going to buy a bomb. I didn't really need to pick that one up, but whatever. And then what we can do is come up here and grab the blindfold and use it. So let's go up. Nope, this is the wrong way. But yeah, something that's kind of interesting is, you know, Japan is really big on like convenience stores and whatnot. And one of the biggest convenience store chains out there, over there, whatever, is Lawson's, which it's kind of funny because that used to be relatively big in the United States as well, long time ago. And my grandpa actually drove trucks for them, for like deliveries and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what that does. I think that's Eve's little crow friend, but ooh, the wafer. That's nice. Will only take half a heart of damage ever. So that's really cool. But yeah, Lawson's is a convenience store chain that was big in the United States, or at least a little bit in, I don't even remember when, to be perfectly honest. I'm not entirely sure. But my grandpa actually drove trucks for him. And I found out, this was years ago, but I found out that, you know, it is still big in Japan, and that's where I think pretty much all of their major, like, all their stores and stuff are anymore. I don't know that they exist in the US or anything like that. They kind of got outclassed by, like, 7-Eleven and a few others, but bought out and whatnot. But it's kind of interesting because, you know, my grandpa got an award or something for his work and whatnot, and I have an actual, like, semi-truck of Lawson's, that's like it's a award type of thing, and it is just kind of cool, things you never really think about. And nope, Retrovision is bad. It's just kind of almost small worldish, but not really, but at the same time, it's kind of an interesting little thing. But yeah, it's one of those things of, you know, especially if you want to, like, learn a language or something along those lines of getting inspired to learn a new skill or whatever. Most things don't really cost money, so it's just time. You got to be willing to put time in to do that kind of stuff, and I honestly think it's worth it. You know, instead of watching, you know, binge watching another series, you know, learn a language or something. You know, work on it. You can even do both. Why not? And there's so many resources out there to basically learn whatever you want to learn, and that is one of those things that, like, I don't know, it's just so, ooh, farting baby. It's just so kind of useful, like, take advantage of the things you can, because why not? And, you know, greed. You know, if you can have the drive to do something, there's next to nothing stopping you most times, and it's always better to just take advantage of whatever you can, to learn a new skill or whatever, if that's what you so choose. There's plenty of things out there to help you do just that, so why not, you know? Anyways, let's finish up this. I'm really getting sick of the darkness, I'll be honest. Oh, great. Let's just fight these guys as much as possible. And it's always interesting too. And I say, you know, I'd love to go to Japan. I think Korea would actually be cool as well. But that's an entire different, that's an entirely different culture to an extent, but also it's an entirely different language I'd have to pick up. And I don't actually know if there's much overlap. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Korean as a language, other than just kind of the general, you know, style of way it looks and sounds. And whatnot. I'm sure there is some overlap, but probably not that much. I don't know. Because, like, I know there's a ton of overlap with Japanese and Chinese, just because they had a lot of influence on each other over the course of history. And, like, you know, I know Spanish, for example. Let's take the negative. I know Spanish, for example, but I do know that I can typically recognize a lot of Italian words and have a good idea of what they might mean based on, you know, Spanish knowledge, because they are related languages. And that's always kind of cool, too. Learning the history of things and whatnot, and kind of using what you know to at least have an educated guess, if not an actual good guess on other things. Same to a lesser extent with like French, with Spanish and all that. There is a little bit of similarities, but I don't think it's nearly as pronounced as the other Romance languages. You know, Spanish being a Romance language that kind of derived from, at least I think it is. I could be completely wrong, I'll be honest. But I think it's a Romance language that's, you know, derived from Latin, which Italian definitely is. And then you have all the Germanic languages, which I don't think they have as much similarity, but they probably do. I don't know them. I can recognize German, and I know very little of it. If actually any. I don't know if I do know any German. Yeah, my high school, there was 3 options for languages, and it was French, Spanish, or German, and I never was one to... French and German never really interested me as much. I kind of saw Spanish as being a little bit more useful. But let's kill this guy. Cool. I guess we'll go down. And there's the boss. Now there is no... item room, but let's see if this is the super secret room over here, or rather off of it. Nope. Just kill the spiders first. Okay, so yeah, anyways, that's enough of my little travel and, you know, learning lesson type thing. I do highly suggest, you know, if you ever get the chance to travel to your dream location, take advantage of it. Why not? Obviously, if you get the chance to, there is a lot of considerations for traveling and whatnot, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, just because of, you know, money, costs, and all that kind of fun stuff. But oh my gosh, that attack is really annoying. Okay, don't do it. I hate those guys. And the matriarch is really quite annoying. And now it's Little Chub. It's kind of cool, the two-faced bosses that they implemented in this. But we get a devil deal. Ooh, we got magic scab. Anything I want? Nope. Not at all. Alright. Let's head on to the next floor, which is the Womb 2, and then we're getting close. Cool. This is actually going pretty well. I guess I can talk about something... I guess I can talk about something else, which is... I'm definitely going to start streaming again here soon. I have been kind of putting it off. I've been trying to get a little bit ahead. Because I want to do something special for next month. I'll get into that more later, but yeah, it's one of those things. I've been playing a lot of games recently. I've been playing a lot of The World Ends With You, the remix, and Kingdom Hearts, like I've said before. And one of the cool things about that is, oh hey, well, it's an arcade. The World Ends With You actually just had a an anime announced like this past week, which was really cool. I'm all for that kind of stuff, and it looks really good. I will say it looks really good. It's gonna be interesting to see how they like do stuff with it, but at the very least, it should be entertaining. Should be good, and I'm hoping someday there is actually a sequel, because they've hinted at it enough. So hopefully that'll. My hope is that the anime will actually kind of renew interest in The World Ends With You, and that will bring basically more incentive to do a sequel, a proper sequel, and that should be amazing. I really hope so anyways. Hey, we got a bunch of pills. Luck down. Great. I found pills. We'll get smaller and larger, I guess. And those are just pills. Okay. Let's continue on. Where do we need to go? Let's go to the arcade and then go downwards from there, because I figured this will probably have more locations. But we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of those. The Steam sale actually, it's still going on, I believe. I got a couple of games from that, some that I've wanted for a while. I finally got Cuphead, and that is something I will probably be streaming relatively soonish. Like I said, I have plans for August, and I'm hoping I can actually, you know, go through with it and whatnot. But I need to work on my backlog, and unfortunately, a lot of these series that I'm currently working on are just taking a ton of time to prep, which typically isn't that big of a deal. But when I'm trying to get ahead, time is kind of a premium. Alright, so far, not too bad. Let's just get through this. Awesome. To the laser phase, which means GG. Alright, so we have the negative, I do believe. Yes. So we go downwards. And we're going to go ahead and go straight to the boss. After we, you know, look at the pills. Walking on Sunshine, X-Lax, and we'll get even smaller. Why not? Let's go straight to Satan. Oh, I should have charged my Book of Belial. I didn't think of that. That's not good. But we can also use Meathead. Meathead. I guess it is a Meathead. We're taking a lot of damage. Alright. Oh my gosh, please. Alright, we might actually die. Let's just try to hit him with all we can. And almost there. Then the last phase is not too awful. Just keep moving. Watch the Explodo guys. And don't get hit. I actually don't know if he takes explosion damage. I know if we resist it, we don't take damage from him. At least this phase. Because the flips are actually explosion damage. Interesting little game mechanic, I guess. I mean, I guess it technically is a game mechanic. There we go. And he's dead. Alright, we can go straight to Delerium, and I think we will. We're a little bit low on health, but that's okay. We are to the void. which is an interesting place. But this is the last completion we need for Cain, Judas, rather. This is Judas. We're playing as Judas, not Cain. And so it's just gonna be a challenge of getting things done. Oh my god, we're so tiny. And I need to keep an eye out for tinted rocks. That would be good. And let's just try to kill these guys as quickly as possible. I really could use more health or damage. Our damage is actually pretty low. Typically rely on the Book of Belial. Oh my gosh, he's as small as I am. He's tiny. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's just keep going this way. You know, these guys will eventually die, I think. Because they are taking damage. So, you know what? I'm going to take a drink and let these guys die. Because I think that's what will happen. This is for science. Because I know they get faster the more damage they take. And their skin blackens because they are on fire. But will they actually just die eventually? Let's help you along. If they do, it takes a while, so science failed. I got bored. Alright, let's just kill these guys. Uh-oh, there's an invisible boy. Cool. So, first boss is death. It's almost kind of nice, actually. Just because, there's a good chance of getting more Meat Boy. And higher level Meat Boys are actually pretty good. At least, oh no, we'll get Guppy's Paw. I want the damage, but Guppy's Paw was really nice to find. That's also the second piece of Guppy. So if we can get one more piece of Guppy, that would be really nice. Alright, let's just kind of explore back everything and yeah, go from there. But yeah, I've been trying my hardest to get a little bit ahead, a little bit of backlog. I've been somewhat successful, but this week I don't have much of anything I can put on the channel before recording it. Like, I'm recording this a day it's gonna go up, so that's a thing that happens sometimes. But basically I've been prepping a series for like 2 days straight, and probably gonna have to do that with a few other series for that matter. And it just happens. Is what it is. And one of these days I will get around to going back and playing all of the games that I started playing on streams. I never did. I also need to actually, you know, make sure all the videos are on there as well. Of the, all of the previous streams, I want them to be on actual, like, on the channel, and playlists and all that kind of fun stuff. I just have never gotten around to doing that. One of the big reasons for that just is it's a pain to deal with YouTube's, like, playlist system. But, whatever. Oh, cool. And there's one more guy. Mr. Explodo. What is this? The blister. Bounce back. Doesn't that mean... I think our tears bounce off of the enemies? Or... do we actually have to use a bomb here? Huh. Interesting. But... on the other hand, we got some nice things. Potentially, anyways. These chests are usually pretty good. And we just got a bunch of bombs. Alright, let's go ahead and pop a bomb on this guy as well. If we can get some money equals power, that would be nice. We haven't missed another room. Nope, okay. Just making sure. Oh my gosh, I hate the gravity guy. Alright, he's dead now. It's better. Yeah, I don't actually know what that does. If it does actually hurt the enemies, it probably does. It's what I assume it does, but I don't know. That's one of those champions I don't see that often. Granted, the Void does have more champions, I believe. It's kind of like wearing the champion belt, but I could be wrong on that. I don't really know. I don't look at the wiki for a lot of this stuff anymore. Ooh, we're using this. Double cages? Yeah, I am going to need some additional stuff. Luckily, even though these guys are poisonous, we don't really have to worry about them because we have flight. So let's just focus on one guy. Ow. And there we go. Oh, I thought he was dead. He faked me out. Ooh, golden bombs. That's actually really nice. We can set as many bombs as we want. And that is going to make things a little bit easier at times. Let's head this way, I guess. And that was easy enough. Grab a key, maybe. And yeah, ooh, a little bit of a lag spike. That's unusual. Alright, we have a pill. That is luck down. Don't want that. Oh my gosh, this... Okay, the Void is always a just gigantic map, but at the same time, like, will this ever end? Give me something good. Nope. Dang. Alright, any more bosses at all? Those guys are dead now. Okay. Yeah, we've explored quite a bit. And still kind of waiting on another boss. We've only encountered one boss, which is also unusual. There's typically like a ton of bosses. Here is our second. Let's go ahead and put a bomb there. Get some more health. And who is it? Hey, it's Delerium. Book of Belial. And here's hoping this goes well. I am getting hit before it actually, like, does anything. Oh man, death. That's rude. Yeah, we don't have much damage. This is going to take a while. And kind of along with that, it's just going to be a pain. Because we don't have, like, super range or anything like that. We have good range, like, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, it's just going to kind of take a while. Oh man, don't be the matriarch. I don't like that boss. Where you got some foots. And matriarch again. Ugh. Please. Delerium, please. I need you to die without too much issues. Ow. That was rude. We're gonna try if there is something that we can safely use Meat Boy against. We are... Oh, God. That's so jarring. We're totally gonna do it. Hey, it's actually Delerium. We're also really hurting. Big horn. Peep, I think. Yeah, that's Peep. We've got what, like a fifth of the life bar down? Ugh. This is painful. Oh, he changed before I could take advantage. Oh, and it's actually Satan. I wonder if there's any rhyme or reason to the bosses he changes to. Maybe it's only bosses you've seen in that run. That would make sense. Because, like, we've seen all of these bosses, but I don't know... Oh my gosh, we are so going to die. And the problem is, like, we don't have too much option of getting better. We have 4 more hits. Yeah, so that, I think that's what it is. He specifically turns into the bosses you encountered during your run. So, like, we'll have greed as well. War. Didn't we have famine? Death. I don't remember fighting the Hollow, to be honest. And ow. Oh, hey, we got a half a heart. But we're almost to half health. Ow. Oh, right, we do have regeneration as well, which is nice. But this is definitely slow going at best. And it's going to be deadly at worst, so I really need to get rid of that eye. And he got rid of himself. Bighorn. And I like that we do have regeneration, so we can actually... Oh my gosh, how did I survive that? Okay. Just keep shooting in a general direction, and eventually everything will be good. Oh my gosh, this is bad. Things are actually going, like, not awful, but... Oh gosh. This is just... Ugh, disgusting. I guess if we get hit, there are plenty of things to kill to try to get regeneration to proc. I don't actually know how it procs. It might be time-based. It might be, like, chance. Ow. Well, we'll find out. We're still alive somehow. Come on, regeneration. And... yeah, I really don't want to have to do this all over again. It'd be bad. Alright, come on, regeneration, proc. Proc already. I'm just trying to keep my distance best I can. And... Oh, I did not even see the fire. Alright, let's go off a little bit. Somewhere else. And try to get some health. Or something. Oh, he's invincible until we kill everything else. Happens. Alright, what do we have? Alright, well that... Oh my gosh, that is a gigantic... Gigantic map. Alright, let's go fight some more bosses. Worst case scenario, we die. And we have to do this over again. I can live with that, to be perfectly honest. But... spiders... I don't like... Don't like this room. Lots of champions that are just nasty to deal with. And lots of enemies in general that are nasty to deal with. Okay. Need some stuff. Alright. So we'll take on the first boss, and I'll try to leave enough room so we can get Book of Belial active again if need be. Kind of the nice thing that we should like hope to get is Guppy. Guppy could make things a little bit better, but we'll see what happens. Ow. So yeah, we get half a heart. I think that's from the negative, to be honest. We get a soul heart if we take damage, like that, or maybe that's something else. I don't know. Ooh, Synth Whip. Okay, that's not bad. That's damage. We get our regeneration. Let's just kill these guys. And there are more bosses to go fight if we so choose. I would love to be able to defeat Delerium, but we need some good items. And to be honest, there's what, 5 more bosses, 6 more bosses? Oh gosh, Isaac. I didn't expect this, I'll be honest. I didn't actually know you could get Isaac as a boss in here. That implies you could get all of the bosses, including like, what's his face? You could get like Satan even, potentially, maybe. I don't know. If you didn't get Isaac, you could probably get Blue Baby and or the Lamb. This is going slow, but it's not that bad. If we can get him out of second phase, it would be really nice. Cool. This is a much easier phase. And just hide in the corners. I probably should, you know, if I'm wanting to hit him with Meat Boy, I should probably just walk over to him and not shoot him. Because we do have some knockback on our tiers. And yeah, that is optimizing damage. Oh, speaking of damage. This should be it. Come on. There we go. And we got food. That is health. That is temporary health though, because once we die, we'll lose that. Oh man. I guess, yeah, we're probably gonna die. Hopefully not in here though. Come on, there we go. Let's get rid of all these guys. So the big thing is just kind of, can we get anything to get more powerful before we have to deal with Delerium again? I guess let's go up this way. What is this other trinket? Because the blister doesn't seem to be doing much of anything good. So let's see what the other trinket is. I don't remember what it was. It was the blind damage. I don't know what this is. I don't actually know what this one does. But let's face another boss. It is, hey, Blue Baby. So that explains that. Well, answers that, rather. Blue Baby is almost a little bit easier. And, ow. We just keep on doing the same thing. Like, Blue Baby is basically Isaac, but with homing tears and a bunch of flies. But he doesn't do Crack the Sky, which is fine by me. That is kind of an annoying attack to deal with sometimes. It's not a very good item, though. That's the bad thing. Alright. He also does fly towards you a little bit more. Alright. You should be dead in this phase. There we go. And go ahead. Completely useless at this point in the game, because we can't get any devil deals, so Yeah, useless. Let's go grab all of those. You know what? I can do this. We can set bombs anywhere and everywhere, so might as well. Let's go grab a little bit of health from here. And I guess let's go this way and go down. We might get some more stuff, we'll see. But at this point we just kind of need to... Ooh, the lovers. That is more health. That is nice. And we'll just try to get as much... We'll kill all the bosses and see what we can do. This is going to be a very long episode. I apologize, but we have the potential to complete... Oh, great. I thought I was far enough away. We have potential to complete another set of, well, completion marks. So we might as well at least try. Alright, everybody's dead. Let's go this way. And these guys are a little bit annoying sometimes. But we're decently powerful now. 7 attack is not too shabby. Alright, let's just kill these spiders. I'm trying to focus fire on the spiders and it's not working too well. Just blow these up. Okay. War. Ow. There is a soul heart. I'm not going to pick that up just in case we take more damage. I'll come back in after the next boss. And that is Book of Shadows. Not useful to me. Alright, so... let's hope for an easy boss that gives us a really good item. Oh, great. Mask of Infamy. It's an awful boss. Luckily, I don't think he has all that much health, which is the only, like, saving grace, but he is an absolute pain to hit. Alright, come on. No, no, no attacking. Alright, so... the lovers is actually a good thing to have. Ooh, Pandora's box. What will this give us? Nothing. We're too low in the floors for it to give us anything. So I guess let's grab the health. And let's take on the last 2 bosses on this floor. And then we'll go fight Delerium, I guess. We don't really have much choice in the matter. This is pretty much as strong as we're ever going to get. And let's be picky about which boss we actually do the Book of Belial for. So Blastocyst is not that hard. Just pump damage into him, he will die, and it's pretty easy. Alright, so this will be that. Come on, give me something good. Homing bombs. That's actually not bad. It definitely could be worse. And Headless Horseman. Let's take on the headless part. Creep doesn't really matter. Please stop shooting at me. And I'm not going to use Book of Belial. Oh, dang it. I'm not going to use Book of Belial at all. And we get Telepathy for Dummies. But that gives us Bookworm, which gives us... Oh, what does that give us? Does it give us homing shots? I don't remember what Bookworm does. But that's at least kind of nice. So, at this point, we really can't do much other than go fight Delerium. Ooh, this is a good room to accidentally walk into. Well, kinda. Not really gonna give us much, but we'll see if there's any tinted rocks. Now we could also go grab Guppy's. Do I want to do that? Because that is all the way to the right. I'd rather have the regeneration potential, to be honest. Plus the lovers works only for red hearts, so let's not worry about that yet. And let's give Delerium another chance. Alright. So we're gonna just drop bombs all over the place. And hope that they home in and take care of things. So, oh great, now we're gonna have the Mask of Infamy. Oh, that's awful. But yeah, we have infinite bombs, so like that's easy enough. We can potentially like just get a little bit more damage. With Delirium, kind of need to just maximize damage. Oh, I'm super slow now. Plenty of explosions going on though. Please get away from me, all the tears. And, oh god. This is probably going to be the best chance I have, this fight, outside of the other fight, but I lost so much health, getting here. Oh, I need to get out of this corner. Really, really hate this. And anything we can do. Come on. I really want regeneration to proc a little bit more often. That'd be really nice. So that gave us that. Let's pop this, get our hearts back. Probably shouldn't have taken both, but whatever. And like I said, the homing bombs actually kind of help since we have infinite bombs. They're at least more damage. Ow. And cool. This is not going awful. We still have a good bit of health. We have what, 5 hits? But it's going to take a lot of damage. That is where we're kind of lacking. Is we definitely don't have the insane amount of damage that I usually have, or usually want to have. Just get as much stuff over towards him as possible. And I don't think he takes much damage from the explosions. That was rude. But, how am I supposed to dodge that stuff? That's just unfair. I'm just trying to dodge the tears more than anything, I think. Hey, regeneration. I like it when that procs. I need to get out of the corner. And that was a heart. That is the heart. Oh my gosh, he goes so fast at a certain point. We're like half health, So maybe we can get some work done. I don't know though. This is just kind of silly at this point. We are getting work done. I can't complain too much. Now I can. We have 2 hits left. I need regeneration to proc. Ow. I hate it when he does that. I'm just trying to walk around in circles, and he just spawns in front of me. Oh, dang it. Alright, you know what? I'm not going to try. This is not going to work out. So I'm going to call the episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Fun little chat about traveling and all that kind of fun stuff. But we'll give this another try another time. This is not going to be fun to try to kill Delerium with 7 base damage and 1 heart. It's just going to be deaths after deaths. And it's going to be long, tedious, boring fights. So I will try it again another time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!